Hi, in our last video, we have discussed about what is PLC and then where we can use PLC. So in this video, we are going to discuss about what are the internal components and what are the main applications or the industrial application about of the PLC. Okay, so here I list out some industrial applications, PLC types, and then the PLC hardware images. Like you can see the Mitsubishi FX2N series, and then PLC input, which is having 16 inputs and 24 output DC. Okay. Likewise, we have a Siemens, which means as Sematic S7 300 series. It's a PLC input output model, which has four inputs and two outputs on 24 volt DC. Okay. And also, basically we should know about what is how the PLC is going to work actually in future. Okay, so we have a small hardware and then the software connections here. So PLC receives the information from the connected sensor or input devices, like process the data and triggers output based on the pre-programmed parameters. Depending on the input or output, a PLC can monitor a record and runtime data such as machining productivity, and then operating temperature. So they automatically start and stop the process, generate the alarms if a machine multifunctions. Okay, and also the programming logic controller are flexible and robust control solutions, so adaptable on almost all kind of applications. So in the screen you can see. And basically it has some PLC main source like CPU and memory and the communication devices. In the right side it will be having some our actuators like motor starters, lights and valves and smart devices. And left side we'll be having some smart sensors and smart devices. And also these kind of entire hardware and software we have to control from the one single systems. Okay, so basically we'll be having the PLC, the communication like Ethernet communications, and then also we'll be getting the input model from digital mode and analog mode, and also we'll be getting the same kind of output and inputs will be outputs in the output also in digital mode, analog mode. Okay, and also we'll be having 24 output input DC to the our input model, and then we'll be getting the uploads and downloads from the applications to the PLC through the Ethernet communication modes. Okay, and also we can use some communication bus like Modbus, Profibus. Those kind of buses we can use the communication purpose. Okay, communication purpose. Okay, so these are the entire internal systems about the programming logic controller. Okay, so basically first we need to give a input to the through the our sensors. So it may be any field devices, and then we'll be programming by the any kind of functions, like if a temperature is reaches around 100 degrees Celsius, it should be of the our temperature heating source. For the application I'm going to use a one ladder logic circuit, and in the circuit I'm going to add the one boiler temperature heating source stopping systems. Okay, so by triggering the temperature range, and then I can control using the range by stopping the heating source, by targeting heating source. This kind of entire process I'm going to control using some PLC ladder diagrams. Okay, these are kind of applications. Okay, so how it's work? So basically it's a kind of scanning process. In the phase one, the PLC scan cycle beginning with the CPU with reading status and inputs outputs. In this phase two, it has a program execution, which means the application program executed using the status of inputs. Okay, in the phase three, it may be some communication purpose. Okay, you can communicate the data between the inputs and outputs, and working status, and then those kind of applications we can communicate one to another devices. Okay, and then output phase, output it may be scan the any kind of sensors, and then according to input output it may be working as the closed loop systems. Okay, the input output status scanned and performed where the stored where can store, and then where need to start the actuators. Those kind of inputs we can run from the phase flow. Okay, So it's hardware components of PLC. You can see. So sensors, and it may be a push button. It may be a contacts. It may be limit switches. For the output, we can use the solenoids and alarms. Though, and then any motors, DC motors and AC motors, and then switches, lamps. Those kind of application we can change easily. Okay, change easily. So there are few key features available in PLC, that industrial pieces, microcontrollers and other output devices. Okay, so basically in the input output devices, what I'm saying to the for the input modeling, the PLC CPU stores the process the program data, but input output model connected to PLC rest of the machines. Okay, for the communication purpose, we can use the RS34, and then Profibus, Modbus, and then we can use the other kind of RS2s, sorry, RS communications, and then 274 and then 430, those kind of moduli we can use it for depend to the industrial applications. Okay. So basically, we'll be having the hardware components like processors, memory, input, output, device, power supply, and then programming, communicating ports. Those kind of applications we can use it. Okay. So these are our basic PLC hardware. So some of having a digital inputs and digital outputs, analog input, analog output, TC input, TC output, power source. The will be shown us like that in the India, what we see in here window. So these are about our PLC, and then so these are our PLC images. Look, what are the inputs, what are the outputs we have. So in the remaining things we can see our next video. So thank you for watching. I'm going to stop here.